I've got a lot of revenge on my mind for a few people.
It's like, I ain't losing to these. Come on! Yeah!
Hold on to your seatbelt because it's about to get bumpy. Hello boys and girls, welcome to episode 15, potential transfers for Arsenal this summer. Time's ticking and we have signed nobody. I swear I've gone through so many names so far and we seem to be linked really closely with all of them. But nothing seems to be happening. Now, the name that I'm going to be giving you today is one of the names that we may well get over the lines first, because in the last 48 hours, apparently, we have agreed a deal with the player, but not with the club. I don't know what way around that is, but it's Alexis Claude-Maurice from FC Lorient. Now, I'm sure you've heard his name over the last 48 hours or so. We've been linked with him for around about 4 or 5 weeks or so, maybe a little bit more. And it's one of those interesting signings. Potentially, he could be an unbelievable player. But he's not the finished article. Now, this is the kind of, window where we're going to be shopping, lower down, shall we say. We're not going to be going and shopping in the big supermarkets. We're more down at the bottom, where everyone else is kind of shopping in Waitrose. We're kind of down the bottom in Lidl's. It's kind of what we're doing at the moment. Like I said, he plays at FC Lorient. I'm sure you've heard of that name before because that's where we got the likes of Koscielny. And only last season, we took Guendouzi from there. He's a French international, not for the first, full national side. Played at the youth levels and everything else. And he is actually a friend of Guendouzi. And he was visiting him in London only a couple of weeks ago at the end of the season. 21 years old, so like I said, he's got a high ceiling, potential to, go on to greater things. And I've said this in some of my other videos, this is something that Arsenal are very clearly starting to do. Buy young, build them up. And who knows, maybe we're going back to the old days of buying French players young and then turning them into something. Remember Nicolas Anelka? I remember when he signed, everyone was thinking, who's this guy? Yeah, they weren't saying that after a season, were they? It's a massive gamble, especially if we're going to be playing him and he's going to be one of the main fixtures for the season. But his statistics last season speak for themselves. Now, I know it was in the French League 2, but let's give him some credit, okay? He played 35 games in the league, 14 goals and 4 assists. He's very, very sought after at the moment. Recently on Sky, actually, they were talking about the clubs that are apparently interested in Claude-Maurice at the moment. And there's Borussia Mönchengladbach, RB Leipzig, Lyon, Lille, Monaco, Marseille, Sevilla, Brighton, Newcastle and West Ham. Now that's a lot of clubs interested in him. But it'd be, interesting to see whether he can turn down the lure of Arsenal. Apparently, from what everyone's saying, he wants to come to Arsenal. He's looking forward to it. But like I said, it just feels a little weird, this signing, because we've apparently done the deal, but yet we haven't done the deal with the club. That just sounds the wrong way round. In terms of valuation, you're probably looking at around about the 15 to 18 million pound mark. He's got a couple of years left on his contract. It's not a great deal of money, to be quite honest with you. But of course, it is a gamble. And you do have young players already at the club, likes of Reiss Nelson, who's also a winger, although he is on the other side. He predominantly plays on the right, whereas Claude-Maurice plays on the left. But yeah, you know what? He looks really exciting. I know it's one of those things. It's YouTube videos. Ooh, what do they look like? But in reality, you know what I mean? You just never know how it's going to pan out. One thing that I like to do in these videos is give you the kind of injury record of a player, because being an Arsenal fan, that's very important. And he has no injuries of any note. So that's very good. He'll probably come to Arsenal and end up picking up loads, the way we end up doing things. But Yeah, that's a good thing that he doesn't have any injuries, so I like that. Now, it's very difficult to try and compare current Arsenal players in that position to Claude-Maurice because different leagues, Premier League's a lot better, obviously. But I'm kind of go with Alex Iwobi because they do predominantly play in that position, although I don't think Alex Iwobi is a left winger. And this is not a comparison to try and, you know, belittle anyone or anything like that. It's just to give you a kind of idea of where they are, sort of thing. Because Alex Iwobi is 23, Claude-Maurice is 21, so there's not much difference in their age and everything else. In the Premier League, just going to go with the league statistics, Alex Iwobi's played 100 Premier League games, he scored 11 goals and he has 19 assists. Claude-Maurice has played 55 league games and he has 17 goals and 4 assists. Now, what you note from that is that Claude-Maurice seems a lot more clinical in front of goal. He can also play in that central attacking midfield area and kind of a false nine, but he does predominantly play out on the left-hand side. Now, like I said, let's not read too much into this because League 2 in France is a completely different one in comparison to the Premier League. But it's a kind of indication as to show what he can do. One of the problems with Iwobi, and we've always said it, is his lack of scoring goals. I do actually think that we should give Alex Iwobi probably another season, but I would like to see him more centrally. More take him out of that wing role and play him more in the central areas. And if he still does not do the business in the area that everyone keeps saying that he should be going in, then we should sell him. But I think that we need to now go and get out and out wingers and then, you know, move the likes of Alex Iwobi inside. In terms of Lorient, they just missed out on the playoffs to get to the main league in France last year. They actually lost out on goal difference. Now, they're not going to be wanting to lose their main man, but a club like Lorient, with all due respect, there's not a lot they can do when a club like Arsenal come calling. Same thing happened with Guendouzi. Didn't want to lose him. Arsenal come calling, and it was pretty easy in the end. So it'd be interesting. I'm sure Claude-Maurice would like to come and join up with the likes of Guendouzi, the likes of Lacazette, the likes of Aubameyang. And it would be a really good test for him. And like I said, he's at an age now where, you know, it is a gamble, but he has a high ceiling. He could hit the ground running, do exactly what the likes of Nicolas Anelka did when he first joined Arsenal. And before you know it, he's a player that's worth 50, 60, 70 odd million pounds. Not saying that we're going to sell him, but it means that we've got a serious talent on our hand. And if someone wants to come and buy him, they're going to have to pay premium rate. And if we end up selling players for that kind of money, then we rebuild. Because that's what we're in the process of trying to do at the moment. We've missed out that already. I've been through it in so many of my videos, so I don't need to go through that again. But it is what it is. These are the kind of players that we are going to be buying at the moment. These are the kind of players that we are going to be looking at. It is as simple as that, really. There's not a lot we can do about it. Like I said, everyone else is kind of shopping in Waitrose, and we're shopping right down at the bottom in Lidl's. No disrespect to Lidl's or anyone who shops there, because it's quite decent from what I heard. But listen, when you're talking about Premier League footballers, we all want them big signings, the big money, the players that get you off your seats and kind of, you know, get you excited. When we signed the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang, I remember what the reaction was like. We were tracking planes from Germany and France and all sorts, and everyone was buzzing and happy. And you know, these kind of signings, they're leaving you a little bit feeling underwhelmed. But that's no, you know, disrespect to Claude-Maurice, because for all intents and purposes, from what I've seen, he looks a very decent player. And another bonus as well is that with the name Alexis, it means that we can all pull out our shirts again with Alexis on. So yeah, maybe a little added bonus there, but listen, it is what it is. As usual, let me know in the comments section what you think. Do you know a lot about Alexis Claude-Maurice? Have you actually seen him play? You know, and what do you think? Do you think this is a good signing for Arsenal? Is this what you want to see? Or would you still like to see us go and get someone more experienced? Do you want the likes of Ryan Fraser? Do you want the likes of Carrasco? I wouldn't mind the likes of Claude-Maurice and Carrasco, to be quite honest with you, but it's highly unlikely. We'll wait and see. So if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. I will be back soon for episode 16. So until then, I'll see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.